Alright, I gotta talk fast here. I'm not trying to do another video. It's hard to fit all this information in. Just going to go over this topically real quick. Listen closely. This is still chapter 9, book of Revelation, verse 18. What I want you to see here, this is how we're going to compare back to Job, chapter 41. What's coming out of the locust's mouth is fire, smoke, and brimstone. This is the power that they have over you. This is how they can bring you to your death, by changing your frequency, by changing your faith, okay? By changing what you believe in with this doctrine of hell that's going to be the fire, smoke, and brimstone that comes out their mouth, right? That's the power that they have. That's the only power they have. And you already saw that for those that were not sealed with what? Sealed with faith. For those that were not sealed with faith, they could be susceptible to be hurt by these beings. But all of those that were sealed with the living God by faith could not be hurt. Understand that. So what I want to do is I want to show you this. Chapter 41 is all about the rising of Leviathan. It's really all about the rising of this Kundalini spirit, which is the spirit personality, the spirit identity, the spirit character, the spirit presence of the fallen prince. Okay? It's rising his presence into a material form. That's what chapter 41 is all about, and they're trying to do it in a poetic way. Okay? But there's a lot of science here. We don't have time to go over it all. What I want to do is I want to show you the symbols that are going to connect us back to what you just saw. And I'm going to show you that the locusts are indeed getting their power from this Apollyon, aka Leviathan. Okay? This rising Kundalini, crooked serpent, the piercing serpent. All right? This is what's going to tie us up. I want you to see here, starting at verse 19, fire, smoke, kindleth coals. Fire, smoke, and brimstone. It's once again coming out of Leviathan's mouth. Once again, the connection to the mouth, the fire, the smoke, and the brimstone. Brimstone is kindleth coals. It's the very same thing. Okay? Now keep in mind, the locusts have a king over them, Apollyon, king of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is the Apsu, or the abyss. Enki is lord of the abyss. Enki is a Sumerian title, which means Ea, whose home is water. Well, whose home is water? Leviathan's home is water. The crooked, rising Kundalini serpent. So once again, this is an epic tale in the Bible, in Job, that is describing the want, the need for this fallen prince to achieve himself into a physical form. Okay, and it's being just said in such a poetic way, nobody even realizes it's happening. Nobody realizes that's what they're talking about. We go on down to the point to where talking about his heart. This is the entrance, in a sense, into the physical. We see that being portrayed symbolically with Hart Island, New York City, is where the sacrifice is going to be taking place to bring him into the physical, to get his heart pumping, if you will. But we don't have time to go into that. What I want to show you is that if the coming out of the mouth of the Antichrist are the same symbols, the fire, smoke, and the brimstone, it's his power that he's giving the locust a revelation, just like you saw. Somebody's giving them power. So in other words, they are channeling specifically his personal spirit. That's what's going to make them have all these powers, all these miracles. It's what's going to make these beings seem enlightened. And guess what? Many of them are going to glow. They will literally glow, which will give them appearance like halos, like the ancient, supposedly spiritually enlightened peoples of the past had. And they're going to be trying to promote it just as that. What I want you to see is this. If we can symbolize that they're connected now to rising this very Kundalini serpent spirit themselves, and that's where all their power is going to come from, well, it's going to also tell you this in Job. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. In other words, the Bible's going through a lot of trouble to tell you that physical weapons, all kinds of them, are not going to hurt him. So if we can symbolically relate that the locusts are going to have this power and symbolism coming out of their mouths, I'm wondering if the same symbolism holds for them not being able to be physically hurt also. And that's what I was getting at. They're not going to be afraid of snipers. Their technology, their power has already allowed them to overcome this physical harm. It's the spirit that they're afraid of.